All right, I've been hesitating making this video for a while, but I decided today that it's time. This is not something I've really shared with anyone that I'm working on, but I've seen way too many videos of people doing this on Instagram that now I have more belief that it is true. Even though I believed it for a while, I always believed deep down that it was actually true. It's not just something in movies.
Everything and all this extra solar energy, it just feels alive. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great summer, and
Yo.
Those movies might have been telling the truth. I believe that humans can perform telekinesis. I believe that we can move objects by running energy through our hands and manipulating it. I believe that we can levitate things. I believe that we can levitate ourselves. I've seen videos of monks do it. I think you have to get to a pretty high level to do that, but I think it's true. I believe that we can heal humans with just our touch, with just our hands. Our hands are super powerful.
Fabricio Verdum is 6 feet 4 inches tall and weighs 252 pounds. His career includes winning the UFC World Heavyweight Championship and being a 4-time heavyweight world champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
No, I'm feeling like I'm feeling the how it's called the when I get shock.
Very light, yeah. No power, yeah. Okay, ready?
And I believe that we're starting to unlock our power. We're starting to tap into our potential. And I'm committing by the end of 2024, the start of 2025, I will be able to perform telekinesis, and this is how I'm gonna do it. So I had a pretty crazy experience, which is one of the main reasons why I believe I can do this. So it was probably like 5 or 6 months ago, and I was reading this book because I was super interested in this topic. It's called Quantum Touch, The Power to Heal, and it's by Richard Gordon. Highly recommend this book. And in it, he's talking about how he learned to heal people with, I'm talking about, this is like some Jesus shit. This is on some Jesus shit, all right? But I really do believe it's true. I don't care if I sound crazy. Anyway, Richard Gordon was talking about how he learned to heal his patients by just touching them and learning how to run energy through his hands into the patient. And the first practice he talked about was practice running energy or imagining running energy up through your body as you breathe in. So it goes up, you feel the energy rise, and then as you breathe out, the energy shifts through your hands. And so if you notice, and I actually started to notice this, if you do this enough and you start to observe, you can actually feel energy running through your body. You can feel it running through your hands. And it feels kind of like a tingling. It feels kind of like a flowing. Our hands are super, super, super powerful. If you actually go like this, create this little ball thing, you can feel heat radiating from your hands, and that's energy coming from your hands. And so I was reading this, and then one night, my girlfriend, we were just sitting there, and all of a sudden she started to complain of these really bad, I think it was period cramps. And she was struggling. She was like borderline thinking that she might have to call 911 or something. It was pretty bad. And after a little bit, I was like, okay, well, this is a good opportunity to try what I've been learning and see what's up. So I kind of didn't really force things. I was thinking about what I learned, but not too much. I was kind of just letting intuition guide me and see what was feeling right. And so I put my right hand around the spot where she was hurting, and I kind of centered it. This was the spot that she was hurting, and I centered my hands or I centered my fingers right around that spot. So I like centralized where my fingers were. And I used my right hand, I placed it on her, and I just kind of imagined running the energy through my body, through my hands, into her. I imagined the energy kind of like a blue, like ice cold, healing color, because in my mind it was combating the inflammation that she was feeling, right? So I was cooling it down with the blue energy that I was sending. So one of the things that Richard Gordon talks about is making sure that you're fully relaxed when you do that, because if you're tense, the energy blocks up. But if you're relaxed, you can send it more fully. And so my right hand was placed on her. The right hand is known as the giving hand. That's the hand that sends out energy. The left hand is the receiving hand. So I was putting my right hand on for a little bit, wasn't really doing too much, and then I had an idea. I was like, let me go grab a crystal, put it in my receiving hand as I have the giving hand on her, and see what happens. So I went and grabbed, actually I think I have the crystal right here. Yeah, I grabbed this, clear quartz. And if you know anything about clear quartz, it basically amplifies energy. Like clear quartz is in everything. It's in our phones. I mean, it's super powerful crystal. And so I was like, let me see what happens if I put it in my receiving hand. So I put it in, had the hand on the spot where she was hurting, and all of a sudden she's like, ow. And I was like, what? And she was like, it actually like burns. And I was like, this shit is actually real. Because how could I burn her? My hands weren't hot. They were just on her. And actually, Richard Gordon talked about that in his book. He talked about, be careful, you might actually burn people. And I was like, oh, all right. And so she said it wasn't unbearable. Keep it on there. And so I kept it on for like a few minutes. And she was like, I feel something. I can't really describe it, but I like feel something working. And I didn't tell her at all what I was doing. So she had no expectation. She didn't even really know that I was working on this. And so finally I took my hand away, and then she was like, it's gotten better. And then after probably like 10, 15 minutes, she was like, it's pretty much gone. And I was like, hey, yo, all right. And so now I think if we can do that, what can we do? So now I'm thinking that I can use the energy that was sent through my hands. I can use that to now move objects. As crazy as it sounds. But I think obviously you can't just go up to an object and be like, all right, and expect it to move the first time. I think it takes practice. And I think visualizing is really, really, really key. So you know how I talked about visualizing the energy running through my hand into her body? I think you got to do the same thing when you're talking about telekinesis. I think our visualizations, whatever shift is taking place, I don't know if you can feel it, but I can feel it. There's some kind of shift taking place where our visualizations, our thoughts are materializing faster in real life. I mean, if you think about it, it's not that crazy. We're already telepathic. You've experienced instances where you had telepathy with someone else without having to say anything. We can manifest things with our thoughts. I mean, sound can affect objects, like high-pitched singing can break glass. Sound frequencies that you listen to can affect your mental state and how your body feels. We can actually manipulate life by changing how we view it. We can manipulate it by changing our focus. And so I think all of that is kind of connected when we talk about telekinesis. Everything has its own magnetic field. Everything produces its own aura because of the positive and negative atoms that are within it that create the magnetic field around it. And if you really want to get into it, what is this world that we live in? It's a bunch of atoms that are organized. They're just waves of atoms. I mean, everything's waves. Everything's radio waves. Our thoughts are radio waves, light's radio waves, and at the core, we're all light. And those waves of energy, we can manipulate them. And I think when you're talking about telekinesis, what I'm working on is really becoming one with the object that I'm trying to move with my mind and my hands. And so some of the videos that I showed at the beginning were from Jesus the Living Son on Instagram. He's one of the main people that I've seen that's actually teaching this. And he says, start out with something light, like a piece of foil that can easily be moved. And I'm gonna really have to commit to meditation and concentration work if I wanna do that. I gotta train myself to stay fully present, to stay fully relaxed, to relax my entire body, and to control my focus on one singular point for an extended period of time. When you meditate, and if you're an experienced meditator, you kind of know what I'm talking about. When you get really good at meditation, you can actually start to, it's kind of hard to explain, but you like detach from your body. You detach from physical reality. And you start to actually like lose feeling in your body. And I think that's you becoming basically pure energy, you could say. And so that's why monks supposedly have the ability to actually lift themselves off the ground, because they've been meditating for years and they can concentrate. And they've been able to learn how to manipulate the field of energy around them. And I think I gotta really work on eating well. I gotta get my energy right. I gotta sleep well, because I think you have to be putting out a high vibration or a high amount of energy to manipulate the energy around you. And I think fasting, like every time I fast, after 24 hours, like 24 to 48 hours, I feel extremely clear. I feel extremely level-headed. I feel like I have pure natural energy. And I think I could use a good fast to really help my telekinesis abilities. I think, things like staying sober, not drinking. I think drinking hinders your energy. I think that wouldn't help if you want to do telekinesis. And I think it's important, if you see someone trying to teach telekinesis, that you don't do everything they say word for word. I think you experiment and find what works for you. For example, I've been having some weird dreams, but one dream I had, I was going like this. I had 3 fingers and I think I was at a table or something, and I was just like lifting the table up. I was going like this and I was pulling the table up in my dream with 3 fingers. So experiment with different hand positions. Like I got this foil right here. Some people might want to go like that. Maybe I want to go like this. But I'm sitting here and I'm visualizing my energy connect with the energy of the foil. Maybe I can do it right now. Let's see. Nope, but I think that's the key. Eventually, I'm going to move that foil. I know it. And at the root of it all is belief. You got to believe that it's actually true. Like I said, I've seen enough videos where I know they're not faking it. I truly believe that it's possible, and I believe that we're just starting to scratch the surface of what we're capable of. Let me know in the comments if you've ever tried telekinesis before, if you have experience, with healing through touch. Let me know. And hopefully, if anything, this video motivated you to go experience it for yourself. Go try it for yourself. Go learn about it. Or at least open your mind to the possibilities of what we can actually do. And I will say one more thing. Don't force this. I feel like this is something that you cannot force. I don't practice it every day, but I practice it every now and then. And then as I go through life, I kind of like pick up more intel, like more information comes to me on how I could actually do it. And that's how you start to do it in your own unique way. Don't force it. Give it a try, learn about it, let it sit for a little bit, come back to it, and little by little, I think it is able to be mastered. And I'm going to master it by 2025. I'll tell you that. Peace.